Good morning and welcome to the Mayor's Weekly. Today I have Peter Cosmiano joining me. Peter heads up our Park and Rec, and we're going to talk about some of the things we're doing in just a minute. But as a prelude to that, the political arena is an interesting place to be. There's probably not a greater truism in that you can't make everybody happy. When the paving was going on Highway 18, and it's wrapping up now, the scathing calls poured in here every day about everything that's so bad was finishing up now, and things have reversed course. The calls are coming in now. This is the smoothest, nicest road I've ever been on. Interesting. A great similarity to that is what's been going on in Park and Rec. I'm always interested in the media and some of the things they do, and I sometimes think maybe they sleep in the form of a corkscrew because of the way they report things. But our Park and Rec, there was some belief that I was unreasonably holding our parks in a closed status. And let's talk about authorities. This is dictated by state government, not something this mayor's conjured up or whatever. Certain authorities belong to the mayor, certain authorities belong to the council. The mayor, not David O'Meara, the mayor, whoever sits in the seat of the mayor, is the chief executive officer of the city. Everybody that works for the city works for the mayor every day. So I could have taken a dictatorial approach and said, I'm going to do what I want to do with these parks, and if I elect to keep them closed, you can't do anything about that. I didn't do that. I'm a strong proponent of inclusion, and we have some experience on the council in Park and Rec management. And there was some reporting that maybe would have given you the impression that I'm skirting my responsibilities and trying to lay it off on the council. Absolutely not. I never have skirted my responsibilities. I never will skirt my responsibilities. But there are a lot of young people that live in this city. What I know is some 2,700 young folks, school age, show up on their doorsteps to go to school. That's a lot of children. And they live in districts 1 through 5. Knowing that we had experience in Park and Rec management on the council, I thought then, I think today, and I'll always think that including that experience and looking at what we should do is the right thing. There's an old saying that 2 heads are better than 1, and I think it'd be hard to dispute that. And that's exactly what I did. 2 work sessions back, I told the council, you let me know if your wishes for these ball fields to open, the gate will swing open. Would that be a fair statement, Peter?
Yes.
You were here.
Mm-hmm.
Now, at this most recent council meeting, the council passed a resolution not allowing me to open the park because it's not their authority. They passed a resolution in support of opening the ball field. And what I did, standing at that podium right there, is exactly what I told everybody I would do. I turned to Peter Cosmiano and I said, open the ball field. Did I tell you that, Peter? Absolutely. So that's where we're at today. There's going to be a lot of debate. Our president just unloaded on the governor of Texas about dropping of all mask requirements and that sort of thing. That's in Texas and Washington. It's not in Jasper. There's going to be some debate of this. It's kind of interesting to me that you'd have something that had the flavor that we're trying to unreasonably hold the field shut. And then you look at the paper today and there's articles that it's way too early to drop this. So I'm not going to get into that debate. We're going to manage for the best interest of the people of this city. And will it make everybody happy? No. I really believe when I was in the banking business, one of my mentors said, if you run a bank like a popularity contest, you'll go broke. I believe if you run a city like a popularity contest, you'll go broke. We're going to manage for the best interest of the people, and that's what I'm going to do. Now, any commentary you might have about my position, I welcome that commentary. You send it here, and we'll be happy to talk about it next week and ever how many weeks it takes. But that's my position on that. I have not tried to skirt my responsibility. I simply felt it's in the best interest of the young people of this city to draw on the experience that we have in municipal government in making a decision what to do. Now, with that said, we authorized Peter to open the ball fields, get moving on that, and I want Peter to give you, and we don't have enough time probably to go in great detail, but give you kind of an overview of what he's working on and what to expect. Peter?
Mayor, we appreciate that. One thing that I will say is that this is a pretty precarious time. The past year has been pretty precarious regarding or disregarding personal opinions or anything like that. We still have to serve the community, and we still need to provide some opportunities. So when we can, and when allowed by the city administration and the city council, we propose that there's some things that we can do that we feel like we could do safely, but we can still provide opportunities for recreation for our kids. Up to this point, you know, there's been a lot of debate, but that's neither here nor there. But I do know that moving forward that we will be registering for baseball and softball, usually our typical spring sports that we have. I did tell the mayor and the council that if we were in a normal situation, this is what we would be doing. So we're going to be opening the registration, encouraging a lot of online registration through jasper.recdesk.com. And so if once we get the baseball and the t-ball and the softball programming going, we'd like to also go into possibly some spring clinics for soccer and volleyball, which we would normally provide, and also to begin some archery programming. And so all those activities we want to roll out, but we want to also roll out in a safe manner. We don't want to be irresponsible with how we do things and the operations of it, but we also want the parents and the caregivers and those that bring their kids to the park to also take on some responsibility of if the same way we do at school, the same way we do it at some of the other things. If your kid's sick, or if they check the boxes, by the CDC that they should not be participating in things, then we would ask that, for the most part, you abide by those and don't send your kid to a baseball practice sick. We also understand that there's going to be different situations where a whole team might not make for their game because the couple of kids are sick or cannot be in attendance. And so we understand that. We would ask that the coaches and the parents also understand this. So this is not a normal season, but we are going to try to provide some opportunities. And so hopefully in the fall we can begin again with soccer and volleyball and then go into basketball. But that's pretty much where we are. We appreciate the opportunity to provide these services and provide these opportunities. There is a stipulation that if the numbers go the other way and something happens again, then I think the city and the governor, the president, the CDC, a lot of the authorities probably retain that ability to back us off a little bit. But I think as long as we know that moving forward, everything's going to be okay.
One of the things that really made an impression on me, some 2 weeks ago, from different households, a mom and a dad came to see me to talk, and as reasonable of folks as I believe I've ever encountered. Understanding they understood the challenge we face. Is there a way to get something open so our kids can have some recreational activities? I appreciate that. The mom in this visit, she made a statement, and it really struck me. She said, "Mayor, you know these children go to school every day. That's something to think about. You know, I mean, playing a little baseball or softball is probably not unlike being at school. I saw some young folks out on the playground the other day. Wouldn't you think that'd be similar, Peter?"
It's somewhat similar. I think the control factor is a little bit different, but as far as the participation factor, it's somewhat similar.
Yeah, and then as I shared with you, and again, I don't want this to sound dictatorial or whatever, but if we see problems, if our folks in health care at upper echelons in government, if our leaders at the state and national level call on us to pull back, that's in our authority. We don't have to convene anybody. It's a simple move that we'll close this down, and we'll share with the folks, if we had to do that, why we're doing it and why we believe it's in the best interest of our children.
Well, I think it is worth mentioning that over the past couple of weeks that I spoke personally to 3 medical professionals, some community health people, and they made sure that we were proceeding with caution. They told me their personal feelings and their medical recommendations, but in the end they understood the situation they were in, but they just wanted to make sure that we took the guidelines and took certain steps to make sure that we're providing at least some way of keeping the virus down and it not exploding in our parks. And so there's going to be some guidelines along with what we're doing. Operation's going to be a little bit differently, but we do feel that if everybody complies with the suggestions and the parameters that we set out, that we would be able to have a good experience.
Peter, you and I have talked a little bit about that, and the people you've talked to, I believe, all hold license to practice medicine in Alabama. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
So, not some sort of flimsy, opinionated somebody, people that have gone to medical school, passed their state board, and can do everything that can be done in the medical profession. So, you can't ignore their comment.
Absolutely.
If you did, it would be foolish. So, we're pleased to have you with us. Again, I welcome your comments on my commentary, the position I've taken. Love to talk with you about it, but be assured we're going to manage for the best interest of the young people of this city, regardless of how much praise we get or how much criticism we get. That's our job, and we're going to be steadfast in doing it. Thank you.
Thank you.